Miguelito. As you can tell by the title, we're gonna see if I can draw like SamDoesArts. If you don't know who he is, SamDoesArts is a digital artist that draws and makes YouTube videos. As you can tell by a lot of my artwork, I love SamDoesArts. And what Josh once said, he's really a master at stylization. But he's just good. Want to be drawing Spider-Man characters in SamDoesArts style. I like to call it my style, but I'm inspired by Sam, so I'm gonna give him that credit. So, stylize. Take a look. I know that Sam always starts off with a sketch. I always enjoy the sketching phase. It's the time for us to start our foundation and the building blocks to the drawing. So if your sketch phase isn't looking the way you want it to look, think about shapes more over anything. I think I spent about 13, 15, 20 minutes on a sketch drawing characters like Miles and Sonic. That it was a lot easier for me. But I also like to say, have fun with your sketch phase. I like to draw fast, but just try to take your time. See how I'm talking fast right there? He emphasizes how important it is to start off with the background.
I always like to put down the colors for the background first, but this basically allows me to kind of visualize the lighting in the environment of the character.
Also want to emphasize the most important thing about the background is atmospheric depth. There's three things: the foreground, midground, and the background. Most times, things further away from you are going to appear much lighter, as you can see in this scene, and the foreground is the darkest part. The midground could be a more saturated color, light, saturated, really dark. Atmospheric depth. The more you apply this into your drawings, man, you're going to be an art get. And I know Sam does a really good job at that. Perspective, how to draw things in 3D space, especially backgrounds. Use the shape tools that we have available in Procreate. Once you make a line and you hold the line, it's going to make a straight line. You even have rulers, drawing assistant tools. Use whatever you have to your advantage. It's not cheating. It's digital art. Have fun with it. It's going to be a really great help for you on your artistic journey. Perspective drawing is almost as hard as drawing hands. Leave me alone. Besides all that, I want to introduce you guys to the topic of light and dark tones. Sam and Sony like to use shading. In the image from Spider-Verse, they have lights and dark tones. Local color is this purple here on the face. The subsurface scattering, as you zoom in, you can see this red on the nose. Me and Sam both like to add this stylistic choice to the nose and the lips, which makes the drawing look a lot more appealing. If I had a flashlight in my ear, you'll really see that example. The more you look at other artists, you'll get it. Now we're going to go to the lights. This is lighter than the purples. We put the lights on the forehead, on the nose, cheek, because we're getting ready for the highlights. The tiny specks of light on the tip of the nose, the lips. These highlights add a sense of realism and can be observed with this staircase pattern I'm showing you. Again, we have the local color, the subsurface scattering, the lights, and the highlights. Now we're going to take it a step down. The darks and the ambient occlusion are these darkest points in the crevice of the eye. This side plane, back here on this ear. It's not a complete absence of light, but barely any light coming in there. Bounce light can still reflect on this. So that's what they call ambient occlusion. It's an art vocabulary word. Moving on, in order to create realistic looking skin, we need to talk about edges. There's something called a soft edge and a hard edge. Cast shadows are the hard edges I can show you here. The nose forms a cast shadow. This cast shadow is a hard edge. Whereas on my cheek, this is a form shadow, which is a soft edge. In Miles's face, it's a lot more smooth compared to that hard cast shadow underneath the nose. And these are really good to know because a lot of people like to use the airbrush a lot. I love the airbrush, but you have to learn how to utilize the airbrush to give it that hard and soft looking effect. So find your edges. The attention to detail is really crucial. Softening all the edges again result in a loss of important visual information. So try to keep that in mind. I want to encourage you guys to keep practicing and experimenting with lights and shadows. The light and dark tones, local color, highlights, shadow, and edges is what's going to make you a much better artist. I learned all this from SamDoesArts and other artists online, and their work looks absolutely fantastic. So keep this in mind. We're going to keep moving forward. As you can see, the eyes, before I liquefied it was looking crooked. Note to self, eyes sit on the same planes. If you see my eyes, they're on the same, and the distance between one eye is equivalent to another eye. So if you're not able to do it, just keep trying that liquefy tool. If you use it too much, that's not a good idea, but I got the hang of it. All these little nuances just help make the face look so much better.
I'm sorry, who exactly are you supposed to be? Isn't it obvious?
So halftones here is really clean. Sam has a lot of inspiration from Spider-Verse. So Sam, Spider-Verse, same thing, right?
All right, calm down.
I noticed that there was these characters in the bag and I wanted to apply them into the drawing, make it look a lot more believable too. So more rim lighting around the hair. Oh, it looks like mine a little bit. Yeah! That is the first one, Miles Morales. Number 2, I'm going to take you into Miguelito. Oh, Miguel's audience, they love Miguel because he has a big, broad back. I didn't like him in the movie that much, but it's not about me. Okay, once again, starting off with the background, adding the blues and yellows. I'll put the reference up here for you to see. Doesn't have to be 1-to-1, but just try to capture it the best you can. Cool, now we're at the flat colors. Now we're adding nuances of lighter blues, yellows for the rim light, reds for his uniform, bada bing, bada boom. Not thinking about the detail too much, I'm just building from what I have. It's easy to get lost in the small details. Try not to think about the small details too much, just worry about the overall big face. Again, going back to the face, you see that blue here, it's coming from the background, the red, the bounce light. If you're wondering what kind of brushes I use custom brushes. If you want to access these brushes, you can find them on my Patreon page. But I think this looks really nice so far. Remember to compliment yourself because you're not perfect. It's like a stepping stone. Local color, darks, dark is darks, lights, light is lights. We have 2099 Spider-Man. So it's going to be up on my Patreon. This is Spider-Punk. Local color, darks, again. And we add the lighter lights. Inside the lighter lights, we have the even lighter lights, which are almost the highlights. Blue and red, we add a striking contrast, which look good on paper.
I'm Miles Morales. But you can call me the Prowler.
Once you know what you're going to paint, you don't have to do the background always. I just think it's a good idea to start. As you can tell, Spider-Man has taken a toll on the art community. Everyone is drawing Spider-Man. No matter what everybody else is doing, just focus on yourself. It's okay to have inspiration. Like I have inspirations all over. Just make sure that you are focusing on your growth. On your growth. Don't worry about the views. Don't worry about the likes. They're going to come eventually. The more you keep practicing your artwork, things like that are bound to happen to you. So if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a thumbs up and like. Make sure to comment SamDoesArts if you know SamDoesArts. Tag him, let him see this. Until we meet again, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. Bye.
But if that day comes, there is one who will step out of the shadows and fight in the name of all that is good and true.
To get a new cartridge. Apparently not, just dump hand sanitizer on it and it's good as new. I wish I knew this sooner. Do you have cheap acrylic paint that doesn't work very well?
Bye.